first video, we saw you riding a motorcycle.
That's not a crime in Africa.
Oh, if you follow the rest of what I'm going to say, you'll feel good at it. Motorcycles and transformers seem to have some association from my limited knowledge. So Che Guevara also went onto a journey in Latin America on a motorcycle. So there's a movie called Motorcycle Diaries. And that transformed his understanding of the human condition, and interestingly, of the kind of health conditions that people lived in. What did your motorcycle journeys teach you, and how has it influenced you?
I crisscrossed India on my motorcycle. I rode…
I must confess, I don't ride a motorcycle.
I did not ride with a destination in my mind, I simply rode. Because at that time for me, it's very difficult to explain this to you because let me put it as succinctly as possible. As I paid attention to the world around myself, for me the most striking aspect of creation was the geometry of creation. It's much later that I learned that yoga is a very intrinsic geometry, very exquisite geometry as to how to align your system to the larger geometry of the cosmos. This is something that came to me later. But right from my childhood, if I looked at a tree, I looked at the million forms of geometry first. That is what dazzled me, before I could even grasp the color and the other aesthetic aspect of it. If I look at a human being, if I just see them, how they sit and stand, I can easily tell them, in next 10 years, what problems will they have, how will they live, what will be the state of their body, what will be the state of their mind, simply looking at the geometry of their system. The entire universe is just perfection of geometry. For example, there is a solar system in which we exist. Because planet is maintaining a certain geometry of movement, we are on. Suppose planet Earth decides to meander a bit, go for a picnic and come back. Well, it won't come back. It's because the precision of geometry is all the time on, universe is on. Similarly, in our own bodies, the geometry is in a certain way, so it's functioning. A misaligned geometry means you're going towards… perfection of geometry means a machine lasts for the longest period of time. So for me, the terrain of India just grabbed me like that. For me, just the thing is to look at that little outcrop, that rock, that one bent something, you know. It is like, in my mind, there are hundreds and hundreds of hours of video that even today I can play back. It's like that for me, because I very judiciously saw that I don't get educated, to the shock of my highly educated father. Right from the day you're born, everybody is trying to teach you something that's not worked for them. So, because I kept nothing in my mind, even today just to make myself… my head look substantial, I wear something, because otherwise it's just empty most of the time So I just grabbed the visual images, the geometry of the terrain, how a rock is sitting, how a small pebble is sitting, how a grasshopper is sitting. Even today it runs in my mind. People ask, Sadhguru, how do you spend your time? Suppose, you don't read, you don't do anything, how do you do? If I just turn on my video, my motorcycle days, it just runs and runs and runs and runs endlessly. There were times, you won't believe this, because this became such a… it's very difficult to say this, the motorcycle, the me and the earth became so much one that I would ride sometimes 3 days and 3 nights without sleep and barely with any food. because all my money went into the tank. This tank was empty, it didn't matter. I want to keep this tank full and I want to make few more kilometers if I can with whatever little I have. So I crisscrossed India. This grasp of terrain is so big in me. People may think, what is there to learn about the terrain? Did you learn geography? Did you learn geology? No, I learned nothing. It's just that I absorbed the earth in a certain way into myself. And of course the people, I never ever stayed in a hotel. I just had a tiny little tent if I had to pitch it in a forest. Otherwise, I just rode into some village somewhere, walked into somebody's house and I told them, I just need a shower and I'm hungry. Never I got refused. Always they welcomed me, I had my shower, ate well, sometimes they allowed me to sleep there. Many times I never asked their names, they never asked what's my name. I just rode on the next day morning. So there was an incredible connect with the people. I didn't have to know people to make them a part of my life. I did not have to own the land to make it mine. I did not have to own anything to make it mine. I think that's the biggest lesson that came to me with my motorcycling, that I did not have to possess anything to make it mine. I've already made all of you mine. You may not give me permission, I don't care, I've made it mine, that's all. And because of this, my life is constantly exuberant and phenomenally rich, because I've not seen one human being who is not very, very deeply involved with me. I involve them, whether they involve or not.
It's a good starting point. But today's world